All right, it is good. And you mentioned the win percentage they have, a very popular, if not the most popular hero that he's been playing with this Complexity team. Timbersaw, overall Timbersaw is still setting up to have a decent game as well, so I do look at Limp, and he is against Necrophos, that's right. Not the most ideal matchup for the Timbersaw. I do think that, I was going to say, Titan probably wants to avoid the Ursa matchup, and sure enough, Ursa's at the top lane already.
30 seconds to battle.
Looking to go up there, so both teams, yet again, another case of tri-lane actions set up to happen.
Yeah, Resolution hiding in the trees here, so both these offlaners, they're not going to have a great time. I think it will probably be a lot worse for Mutho versus this Ursa.
Problem with Nature's Prophet into a Chen. Takes one of your treants.
The battle begins.
Using them against you. Tava's going to be fine, but can't do much against the bounty runner. I mean, Resolution's still running in as if they can go for something. Again, the Wraithfire Blast, only a 14-second cooldown. It's coming back up in a sec. There's the LSA.
They overlap their stuns between Resolution and Fear. They weren't sure who was going to hit it, and I don't know if they would have killed Tavo anyway, but yeah, that allows him just to get away even easier.
Yeah, maybe another bottom. I'm guessing it's Wraith King. There you go. So yeah, get the Titan or bottom. Z-Freak's wrapping around though. They're going in. They want Crystal Maiden. They want the easier kill. Wraithfire Blast on it. Ursa, however. Fury Swipes has a couple added up. Cannot stay close enough, so Ursa, he's not going to be of assistance. However, March still trying to run, as now Crystal Maiden went too far in. Crystal Maiden's all in. Crystal Nova uses not enough damage very far from March. Keeps himself alive. Z-Freak's in for this as well, and they're just biting off way too much more than they can chew. That's a 2-for-0 turn for J-Storm.
Yeah, the side of Complexity committing very heavily just to get first blood before they go down, and they're not able to get either kill and feed away too, so Resolution, he'll be happy with how his lane started here.
Let's be honest, they just wanted free TPs back to the bottom lane. Free mana and everything, so that's where they're headed. As Ursa comes down here, Titaner, he's TPing top, so the musical lanes continues. And Resolution, he's TPing bottom. Thanks to Chen. Mentioned earlier in the previous series, this is one of the massive benefits. Helps you win these early laning phases.
Yeah, exactly. Has his TP off cooldown. However, I don't think this is that favored for Resolution until he has his backup, because he is still a melee hero versus an Ursa.
Yeah, I think it's more just Titaner would just not get anything done against Ursa, so that's probably the biggest deal for J-Storm and why they want to have the lanes as they are. Back to the bottom lane, Resolution. He's dead, I'm pretty sure. We're going to run after him. One Fury Swipe, maybe not, because of the support just in time. Resolution's going to survive as he pops the salve to heal on up. So, oh man, it seemed like it was a certain death as they collapsed as 3, but the supporting cast getting there at the split last second.
Yeah, really nice body box by Z-Freak, but yeah, the cavalry, they arrived just in time. And Resolution with that salve, he's going to be right back up to full health.
How's this middle going? 14-4 Necrophos, 12-1 Timbersaw. I do notice Timbersaw is constantly fairly lower on life, but as the levels start adding up, and especially now with the one bracer in hand, something tells me Limp is going to be just fine on that Timber.
Yeah, Mu, however, here in this top lane, he's not having as good a time versus Tavo as you might think, even with 2 points in the Kraken shell.
Bottom lane, Ursa. LSA hits after the Wraithfire Blast. Miracle juking through the trees. He'll be good. Chen is here with that Ghost. He actually then takes over the Satyr Mind Stealer with the Mana Burn. That Ghost is actually pretty good, though, too. The slow that it provides. So, yeah, using what he's got around him.
Lots of people forget about these little creeps. Like, there's the Harpy that has the very low mana burst as well. So March proving his knowledge of the Chen, showing his knowledge and of the jungle, and now he's looking for more.
That was one of the reasons why I love the Chen changes, because it's going to force you to almost learn a lot of these smaller creeps you don't usually get. You see the Tri versus Tri lane is very evident, though, as both teams in the area. Chen is currently off in the Radiant jungle pretty deep. He is trying to find an appropriate creep to take over. He's actually going to stack this camp. Interesting for the Radiant side. So we'll see if that ends up being for the better of complexity or not. But either way, Miracle, he's dead. Fear, credit for the last hit. Got his auto attack off on top of the Wraithfire Blast. And Sven and Crystal Maiden could not do enough to save it. So a 2 versus 3. And they end up, well, I guess the Mind Stealer was here. So 2.5 versus 3.
A state of Mind Stealer is half a hero. That totally sounds fair.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this early on, I think that's fair. Oh, speaking of another cool creep, yeah, this Hill Troll Priest, not only the heal that it constantly spams, but that Mana Aura. Like Crystal Maiden, what? Got our own Mana Aura.
Yeah, so March definitely showing he favors the small creeps. That's pretty cool. But in this top lane, they found Moo with the rotation of Miracle.
Needs another attack on the tree. Block. Oh no! Tavo's block. He's trying to let him get the last hit. You can tell. And he is eventually going to get it. So almost was a bit awkward right there, but eventually it pays off for Complexity. They're going to go. Excuse me. They're going to get both bounty runes as well. So that's actually going to work out very well for Complexity. At the top.
Yeah. On the side of J-Storm, they were able to get a lot more out of this bottom lane so far, like successfully getting kills, resolution as well, getting a lot of CS. And again, you said you wanted this Ursa to have a bad time, and that seems to be what's happening.
Well, I mean, for the sake of Complexity, that's what I wanted. You know,
no. Obviously, no hate. You know, it was a positive thing. They win when he has a bad time.
I know fan Complexity. Sven's dead, by the way. Horrible player, Zekrick is. 3v3. He's in trouble. Trying to run away. That's not going to be easy, though, when 4 players are collapsing on top of you, and Catapult even thrown in there. You are not getting away from that. Bryle goes down mid lane, though. Ursa rotation. How about that? Rotates in, gets the kill. Fear goes down bottom lane. What is happening all over the place? Now, Wraith King might be in trouble, although Wraithfire Blast on an Nature's Prophet. A resolution, he's just worrying about surviving at this point, so he'll get back. He'll be fine. Moo's too deep. He wanted to kill on Tavo. Anchor Smash is not close enough, and he goes down. So all of a sudden, some brawling takes place, and we're not even done just yet, apparently. March will get picked off. Fear. Wait, did he get recalled in? I'm pretty sure.
I think he did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Fear just got recalled in because he died shortly before. What? Oh, boy. J-Storm, they were really ambitious there.
So, J-Storm, they were really looking to push this bottom tower really early with the, well, not dominated, but, you know, divine-favored catapult. But Complexity just not wanting to give up this tower, defending very, very well, and nets them a whole bunch of kills.
Wraith King, excuse me, is actually going to get picked off. I don't even think he realized Ursa was there. Man, J-Storm's just... It's like they got just tunnel vision all of a sudden. They're just trying to go for some reckless kills, not realizing the numbers that are truly there, as Bryle middle lane is taking some heavy damage from the Timber. So has another Chakram and has another Rolling Death in 2 seconds. This might be a kill, especially with Ursa coming over. He's dead.
You know what? I've realized why he does so well on this Ursa, because I'm currently looking at the CS, and he just doesn't care about creeps. All he cares about is heroes. He's the safe lane Ursa, and he's rotated at 5 minutes in, but it's just paying off because no one can fight into this man.
Yeah. You're right. He farms through hero kills, 3, 1, and 4 at this point in the game. J-Storm, again, they seem to be pretty unsure of what they're accomplishing right now. I mean, look at this. He's right-clicking him at the Tier 1 tower. The Nature's Prophet comes through with the ultimate there, the Wrath of Nature, and helps us secure the kill for Miracle. This is going to be a mid-Tier 1. Geez, something just clicked for Complexity a couple of minutes ago, as they have nearly a 4,000 net worth lead all of a sudden at 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just sitting here with my mouth wide open because it feels like this Miracle Ursa, he's just been across the entire map. They got was it 5 total kills under their own Tier 1 tower? Just overextension by J-Storm, and it's been massively punished, giving Complexity a 3k lead already at this 8-minute mark.
Tide does have Ravage. It's a good job by Merkel there, though, realizing with the several TPs coming in, including Tidehunter, not worth diving the Wraith King, who gets recalled to the bottom lane, it looks like. How about this ambitious choice from Resolution? He was maybe a little too much of a reach with the Battle Fury Troll last game. He wants to go Radiance this game. Only 360 gold currently saved up, so it's a long ways away. With the pace of the game right now, that feels like a bit of a stretch of an item at this point.
The one thing I do have to say about the Radiance is it is an amazing Radiance game. You know, just providing that missed chance against the Sven, against the Ursa, as well as magic damage against the Timbersaw. He might be building a hood himself. You do often see that from Timbersaws. But still, I mean, he already has that hood.
There was not much fight in you.
Yeah. It's I don't know. They make this look so easy, but this is not. You really got to give props to Complexity, because what they keep doing as well, I've noticed, the Ursa keeps popping out of the trees. Like, he keeps coming in from the side, all these angles that you wouldn't expect. And then all of a sudden Sven shows up with a stun. You'd like think, oh, it's Ursa, I can just walk away. No, a stun hits you, and then you're just dead before you know it. So they really do deserve props in terms of how they're positioning to make these kills happen, because this is, you can't just run at people in an everyday Ursa game and get the kills like he's making happen.
Yeah, just take a look at the net worth. Look at the CS of the Ursa, and then look at the net worth of the Ursa, and it's just incredible. And Limp as well, getting that solo kill on Prowl in the mid lane. I don't think we've talked about that enough, because remember, they picked this Necrophos into the Timbersaw thinking it was a counter.
Well, Reincarnation leveled up right as Wraith King goes down right there. Timbersaw diving to make that kill happen. He's got a level 4 reactive army. You mentioned the Hood of Defiance, so feels like a good thing to say right here would be good luck killing him. As, Ravage comes out. Tavo's caught by this, so Tavo was not expecting, but Sprout spawns some more. Voice the LSA. It's not going to be enough, though. Ooh, that was 5 heroes, so if they don't kill Tavo somehow, that would have been insane, but they do, so that's the good news. Now, the bad news is it took a Ravage, it took all 5 heroes, and you have a bit of a spread now happening by Complexity as Sven and Ursa are pushing the tier 1 bottom.
I mean, it's exactly as you say, 5 heroes and a Ravage for your offlane Nature's Prophet. That's the very definition of worth, and meanwhile, Miracle, he's finally farming creeps as well as taking this bottom tower.
Timbersaw. Can they chase him down? He's going to go for the quick turn kill. Resolution's going to be fine. That pops the stick. That was a close call. Nature's Prophet, though. Wrath of Nature takes him out. He, in fact, TP's into a stun. Laguna Blade to the face as well as the ultimate Necrophos, so they take him out. That Reaper Scythe, he's dead for 40. 3 for 3. He's going to die to the Death Pulse. Double kill for Bryle. That regen really doing work now. March, though. Chen, he doesn't have much regen to work with. He's dead. Double kill for Limp, and Bryle is not going to stick around to see what else happens. So it looked somewhat pretty there for J-Storm finally, and Necrophos specifically. He is going to be an issue for Complexity still, but everything else seems to be going the way of Complexity right now.
Yeah, I mean, J-Storm, they do get 2 kills at long last, getting a kill on Tavo's Nature's Prophet again. He's gone down twice in quick succession. He could have just helped snipe that kill top with his Wrath of Nature. Didn't quite need to TP in on top of the Necrophos. But for the side of Complexity, they are killing off these big carries. Every time the Wraith King, he's died multiple times. They know his ultimate's still a cooldown, and right into the pit they go.
Yeah, I don't know about fighting this, though, if you're the dire team. It seems like a risky move, especially without Ravage. If they have Ravage, maybe, but they're trying. They do not want to give this up. They don't even have a Reaper Scythe. They're going at the last second. So, the Sprout play, though. It blocks Necrophos, and Miracle picks up the Aegis, and now J-Storm's in panic mode. He just used Ghost Shroud as well. The drum's used for J-Storm, trying to get away. Ursa, Poppin is in range. The big freezing fill from 343. The Laguna Blade doesn't stop at the absolute wipeout for Complexity. It's just Wraith King just running to the top, as I said, going into that. That seems such a stretch of a fight for J-Storm, and boy, did it backfire.
Like, I never want to call something ever an out mistake, but J-Storm, I don't know how they thought they could really contest around the pit when they don't have their big ultimate, the Ravage. Now it is off cooldown, and maybe they thought they could just stall out until it was ready, but as Complexity, they take that Roshan so fast, and once they have the Aegis of Miracle, they just run at you, and that combination, the freezing field from 343 positioned on everyone, and so much burst damage, J-Storm, they just evaporated.
That Sprout block from Tavo, the timing was perfect. It prevented Necrophos from having any shot of a steal. Smoke play from J-Storm. Reaper Scythe is ready. They do have a Veil on
Dire's
Necro. They're going to
bottom
find
tower
Sven.
is under attack.
However, Crystal Maiden nearby to the right. There's Timbersaw. Do they want to go for him? Veil applied. He's got the hood, though, so good
Dire's
luck killing
top
him, it
tower
feels
is
like,
under attack.
as I said earlier.
Dire's bottom tower
So
has
they get the
fallen.
Tier 1 tower just behind them. Sven, Wraithfire Blast, Resolution, deep for it. He does have Reincarnation. Worst case, locked in on Lena. The Timber Chain forward to Lena. Cut down for 25, and now J-Storm in panic mode, it feels like. Ravage is ready, but this will be a pretty bad Ravage at this point. Moo just decides to take his death. Bryle, why are you this close? He pops Ghost Shroud, spread it up. He's going for the TP play. Do they have a stop? They do. The Frostbite comes in, and Bryle's going to most likely die. J-Storm just seems to be in such panic mode right now, and they have no clue how to stop Complexity.
Yeah, they're just taking these bad fights again and again. J-Storm, once that smoke broke, they were like, well, we're here anyway, we might as well commit, but that wasn't the way around it. They need to take these well-orchestrated fights just because Complexity are so far ahead. And already at their tier 3s, they seem to be losing another fight. Well, they are winning this one. Yeah. That's only because Complexity don't have their 5-man.
Freezing Field is ready. 3 for 3, though. He's going to die before he has any chance, so... Yeah, the support's getting a little too close there for Complexity. They did pop Reincarnate, to be fair, and that's a very long cooldown, 200 seconds for Wraith King, so that's something out of that, but at least J-Storm has something to be happy about themselves as they make a couple of kills take place. But man, this is so much recovery to be done now, because I mean, even starting with Necrophos, he's trying to build a 4-staff next. You have Tidehunter still just trying to finish up Vlad's as essentially his first item. And then as Chen gets picked off in Rage from Ursa, Ursa has the Aegis still. He's going to get caught by the Wraithfire Blast, and will know the War Cry. It's going to keep him alive. Oh boy. Just when you thought you might have had a big kill.
The one thing I do really want to praise Complexity for is because very often you do see teams get a whole bunch of these kills, but then they don't do anything with the kills. And Complexity have done an amazing job of taking these kills around objectives and transitioning them into the map control. You can see Limp right now just taking the last tier 2 tower that remained. And just Complexity, they're making sure not to stay in their own jungle. They're staying on the map, on the side for J-Storm, and not letting them get anything out of it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bottom? Okay. Resolution's dead. Mentioned earlier, the Reincarnation was activated. And thus, cooldown not ready for him right there. He gets picked off. Meanwhile, Sven catches up. Looks like Lena, the hand of God, can keep alive a little bit longer. Bryle also with the Death Pulse doing that. The Reaper side takes out Sven. They also take out Crystal Maiden with the Ravage. But now Limp, he's looking for work to be done. Bryle, Ghost Shroud, Death Pulse heal. But now Ursa shows up. The Ghost Shroud wears off. That's a Spirit Vessel applied, I believe. I think Tavo has one. So talk about a great item to have against a hero like Necrophos. And he dies. He's out for 30. And they're just going to stick around and try to pressure tier 3 mid now. That's a Bloodstone with 16 charges currently on Timbersaw, by the way. We're only 17 minutes in. Like, that's the biggest thing to note. Almost really remind yourself of.
Yeah, the side of Complexity, you know, they lose 2 heroes, but it's their supports. It's their job to go in and they bait out all the big cooldowns. The 2 supports, they bait out Ravage, they bait out Scythe, they bait out Laguna Bay God Strength. And the side of Complexity, you know, you have all your big cores, you still have your Aegis, and you're more than happy to continue with how this game is going. Just this Complexity Ursa it's amazing. And okay, he's going back for a Midas. I'm not quite sure about that one. You could probably go for the Blink Dagger.
This is actually something I do notice that he does. He does go for a later Midas. It's almost like he wants the Blink and drums for the early game to take advantage of the early game Ursa. But then it's like, okay, now the game is still happening. We haven't won yet. Now I'm going to get an item that helps me at least scale and do well come the later game. So I think that seems to be his logic. I feel like he does this more often than not. I know he didn't do it last game, but to a little bit of an insight there. But middle lane, Moo. Ravage 50-second cooldown, so he just has to run. Nice LSA, good help from Fear. Freezing Field, or Crystal, or the Nova anyway, slowing him down. Tidehunter, he's gonna live. Limp cannot finish the job. Sven, he went too far. So Z-Freak
It's not the heat.
over the top again. Tier 3 tower is even still up, so that's one thing Complexity has to be a little careful about. They can't necessarily just dive them in their base.
Complexity, they know they're ahead, but they need to be careful not to feed it away like they did in game number 1. They still have to at least have a few more heroes if they're going to take these fights and not dive these towers. I do want to get back to the Midas because you are right. I think the logic is pretty sound that he still wants the ability to scale if this game has to go lower. But then you get to the question of, is that a not lose item? Because you hear the pros talk about the mentality of not losing instead of winning, and he could choose something to push his advantage even further. So I think that's a question there. Limp, I'd really love to see him pick up a Yule Scepter though. I think that'd be a great item here on Limp because it does seem that J-Storm, they now realize what they need to do when they see the side of complexity is run away. So if you could stop that happening, that would be great.
If anything, too, as a reaction to like the Ravage coming out, and yeah, it actually does seem like Yules would be a good item for Timbersaw. He is going to go BKB instead, and I suppose that's a similar idea. At least for the defensive mechanic. March, he gets cut through, and Ursa's going to finish the rest of it. He pops into rage as he gets stunned. Good timing there. Out comes a Ravage. Can they finish off the Ursa with the Reaper Scythe? Yes, they can with the Laguna Blade as well. He's out for 45. Fear's going to end up falling. Kind of did his job though with the Laguna Blade, however. As double stun on 2 heroes here. 3-4-3's dead. Limp, he's of course still standing strong. Seedfreak is as well. Lina, she buys back as Bryle's getting very low. That spear fell, so you can tell how much work it's doing. He could not heal up. They do pick off Sven, but they lose the Necrophos. Limp now. He is getting somewhat lower. 20 charges on that Bloodstone. Could activate it if needed. Numbers favoring J-Storm there, though.
Yeah, it's a good fight for the side of J-Storm. They get off a really good Ravage with Moo. And the Ursa, I'm not sure if it's in Rage, had worn off, but they had the Laguna Blade as well as the Scythe, and that nets them this Ursa kill that's so prized for them. And after that happened, they were lacking a teeny bit of damage. And Limp, he was only able to take down the Necrophos after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Rage like just wore off as those abilities hit, so it's great timing from J-Storm there. So I've been constantly checking on resolution. He is still committed. In fact, he actually almost has it. He bought the recipe first, and now he needs 300 more gold or so before the Sacred Relic will be able to be purchased. So it's not the greatest timing of a Radiance, but you stressed it. It is a really good Radiance game, so suppose better late than never for a resolution here.
Yeah, and Radiance also does kind of act like a Midas. It is a farm accelerating item as well. So, you know, when you get to it, it does help you get to other items as well. So I understand his commitment for it, just especially versus the Ursa. But I assume he'll be building a BKB next, and you can see he's got it queued up.
Yeah, that we mentioned Timbersaw. Is he still committed? Yep. That BKB is almost finished for Limp, in fact. God, Tavo's... I keep wanting to say kind of quietly. It's like not really, though. He's 5-2 and 14, but man, his farm, he's top farm with the Timbersaw. Him and Timbersaw are just so far ahead of really anyone else in this game right now. Of course, his own hand of Midas. He almost has a Silver Edge. Wow.
But it is worth noting that Complexity, they've made a few attempts to go high ground against J-Storm with this lead, and they're still not quite able to do it. So they do have to get a few more items. This game isn't over for J-Storm just yet, even though they are 17k behind. You know, the game only ends when the Ancient falls, and Complexity, they don't quite have the best push, and they're struggling to go high ground.
40 seconds for a Roshan respawn. Smoke play from J-Storm currently happening. They just got the Radiance on Wraith King, so they figure now's the time. They have a Ravage. They're checking Roshan. As you see, it's not happening. They're going to get exposed. And they're in a bit of an awkward spot now. There's on the uphill. Figuring when's the best time to go in. They drop Moo to half-life already. The break comes out, so he has a Silver Edge. There's a Stormhammer stun, and there's the hand that got it the last second. He gets the Ravage off, has the result. The big counter burst on Ursa. Ursa buys back immediately, though. Fear's dead. She is staying dead at 70 seconds. That's a dieback on her. So the good return from J-Storm. Ooh, that Stormhammer almost connecting before the TP out. So Necrophos will be fine. Wraith King, different story. Reincarnation popped. Can he get away from this? Probably not. Breaks up. Triple kill for Limp. I mean, you could tell coordination's there for J-Storm. They had the right idea of turning on to Ursa, but it just still doesn't matter. That's a classic case of the net worth lead being that high.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, and the buyback from the Ursa, you know, he didn't do any damage in the fight with the buyback, but it does allow them to push this high ground with the 3 kills that they were able to get. That Hand of God, however, just saving the Tidehunter for that little bit amount of time, to get off that Ravage, it did give hope to the side of J-Storm, but they are going to have to pay with this
Dyer's
melee
middle
rack.
barracks.
Yeah, it gave them hope, but in hindsight, it's like it's a case of, you know what, maybe it would have been better off if he just dies anyways, and then they have it here for this defense. But that's easy to say as a caster.
Dyer's
Of course,
bottom
can't
tower
blame in
is
that
under
moment,
attack.
but still, successful fight for Complexity. They push through mid, and now they're going to go right back for Roshan, which is the second roam, remember, considering we're only 24 minutes in the game. I feel it's worth a reminder. And this means it's going to be an Aegis, I'm sure, for Ursa, and a cheese for somebody like Timbersaw, who, by the way, has 24 Bloodstone charges now, so starting to get to a pretty absurd point for the Timber.
Yeah, I do want to praise the sides of J-Storm, though. Going for that smoke, it's the hard decision, but it's the right thing to do. You can't just remain cooped up in your base, letting Complexity build their lead even greater and even greater. You have to take those fights at a point. And, you know, they said, we've got the Radiance. This is the next big item that's coming for us for a long while. Let's try and take a fight for us with it. And, you know, they do net a kill on the Ursa. So even though in the end it is bad for them losing the Rax, losing the Aegis, I do still think it is the correct move in the whole scheme of things.
That was fun. And Tavo did a pump fake right there. He's like lining up the last hit. Make sure he gets it. So, and he does. As, yeah, Timbersaul's 9-0-11, so has not been killed yet. Limp is doing some crazy damage. The Boots of Travel picked up. Vanguard picked up by Sven. I'm guessing a Crimson Guard. So we're eventually going to be seeing with that from Z-Freak. So still a little bit away, but another helpful aura item to take advantage of. Man, this is, I want to say, the most fun I've seen 3-4-3 have in a long time. He's usually one of these sacrificial support players, but hey, he's got drums, Tranquil Boots. He's almost got Glimmer Cape finish. So even the 5 or even the 6 support is having a good time.
Yeah, and just wait till he hits level 15. That 150 gold talent is very juicy, let me tell you that.
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean, I think this game is argument for the mana loss, but I suppose, yeah, honestly, 150 GPM, that's hard to pass up.
Dyer's
Yep.
bottom
I think the
shrine
only
is
time
under
you
attack.
often see the mana loss talent is if there's someone who has mana burn on the other side, or if you're playing with someone like a Storm Spirit, because it enables them all even more.
Yeah, like Medusa, Storm Spirit, maybe a couple of heroes that come to mind, yeah. I was thinking maybe Timber saw this game, but I don't think he's really having
Dyer's
mana
bottom
issues, so
shrine is under attack.
not a big deal. Oh, speaking of Timbersaw,
Dyer's
he's
bottom
going to
shrine
find...
has fallen.
Oh, that was a funny Wraith Fire Blast. Follows the Timber chain. He finds Wraith King, but hey, go for the easier kill. That is Chen.
The forest
Struggle
rejects
continues.
Chen.
I do have to go back to saying, like, as much as damage is nice with the Aghanims, he's queuing up, Yules is just so good on Timbersaw, because when you
Dyer's
hit
top
these early game
shrine is under
peaks
attack.
and you have all that damage to output, what you need to do is catch people or stop them TPing away. Time and time again, we've seen people either walk or TP away, and just if he had that Yules, he would have got so many more kills here and there.
Ooh, Timber Chain
Dyer's
doesn't
top
connect right
shrine
there.
has fallen.
Resolution knows that you can't stop him. There you go. Hey, Yules would be pretty good there.
I remember watching a game a while ago where I can't remember who it was, but it was I think it was Optic with CCNC.
Okay.
Yeah, not the current PPD
Yeah.
team, but the previous one. And they got very far ahead with the Timbersaw. He didn't build Yules. They all TP'd away, and eventually they lost the game. Like it's such a useful item. Just any item that lets you output your damage is useful.
I almost think at this point you could argue just getting a Scythe instead for that lockdown purpose, but he is going to Ag, so argument for not. But perhaps after set Ags with a double chakram, we could be seeing a something like a Scythe or even the Yules, or Shiva's another item that would definitely come to mind, not necessarily the lockdown, but is very good. On Mr. Timbersaw, who is also level 23, and my guess is probably going to be the... Oh, yeah, he's definitely the highest. Tavo's only 19. I was figuring Tavo might have been up there, too, but the experience gain isn't as high, but, man, his farm is there. He's still just continuing to be impressed. He is top farm, man. That's crazy.
I mean, I think he's just using Wrath, the nature of cooldown, as well as his Midas, and he's building towards this full-blown Bloodthorn. He hits so hard. Complexity, they have a 28k gold lead, but I'm a bit surprised that they haven't gone for the push, but it seems they learned their lesson from game number 1, it seems.
Ursa getting low. Not low enough, though. So he's going to be good. Doesn't really have the best way to heal up, however. So I don't know if he's going to try to pop a shrine or something, but yeah, they only have 20 seconds remaining on the Aegis, so it is a little odd that Complexity doesn't try to go a bit more. It's one thing to say, yeah, learn their lesson, I suppose, but it feels like when you're this much of a lead and your net worth is that big of an advantage, like you're almost giving the other team opportunity in the game by not trying to truly finish it. But they're going to let this Aegis expire.
Yeah, and it looks like J-Storm, they've done the right thing. They kept timing of the Aegis, the smoke breaks, and they know exactly where 343 is.
Well, that was 343 doing that on purpose. Like, that was the whole point. Because that was actually setting up to be horrible for Ursa. Because the Aegis just got reclaimed as they were about to jump. But luckily for him, he had 343 in a perfect position. The spot, nice LSA on Timbersaw. By the way, preventing the Timber Chain forward. Chen is still trying to run Resolution, the better target, though. He has Reincarnate, Hand of God. Gonna make it so it's not even needed, and March is also alive, so everyone gets out for J-Storm. Reaper Scythe, there you go, 120 seconds. Ursa's out now, no buyback, and now Tavo's also caught, and he's gonna end up falling. So back to my point, you're just giving at least a sense of opportunity to J-Storm.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I'm not quite sure what the side of Complexity we're waiting for. Their lineup, you know, there's not really an item that makes them better at pushing, but it just looked like they were avoiding the fights, and they're going to lose another one.
Yeah, I don't think Z-Freak's getting away from this. He's going to try, damn it. Only get so far, though. Of course, bad news for J-Storm is Roshan's still well off before a respawn of any sorts, but you have Wraith King, who's now going to find this time useful, working on a Desolator. He went the Armlet after the Radiance. Build into a Desolator. We'll see how he progresses from there, but yeah, is this going to be the first tower kill? Well, they're trying, but the fortification's even used. Yeah, they actually do not have a tower kill. We're 31 minutes in.
Middle tower is under attack.
So.
Yeah, and the first tower claimed for J-Storm, as you say, and the Complexity, by not pushing with this Aegis, I'm pretty sure you're right. They did give it to them. I understand they don't have the best high ground siege, but you could definitely send in Treants. You could, you know, play aggressively around this area, really try and look very hard for a pickoff. And that just didn't seem to be their objective.
This is their chance to kill Timbersaw right now. They recalled in. Resolution, dear God. Getting really low, though, with the Armlet toggle. Even again, he has Reincarnate, so he's not afraid to die. BKB is just used by Limp to not give them a chance. He hasn't died yet. Did not want to give up that bounty. Tavo is caught, though. Dust going for the sneaky backdoor play and ends up going down. I mean, he's going to kill the tier 3 tower, so there's that. But he's out for another 70 seconds, and I know Nature's Prophet is just that's just kind of naturally what the hero does throughout the game, but it's moments like that, I go back to Complexity. Just you cannot give J-Storm these pick-off opportunities. I don't want to oversell it, though. It's still a 27,000 net worth lead for Complexity, so they are still standing very strong, I suppose.
Yeah, Complexity is still massively in the driver's seat. Like, it is worth orientating ourselves that this is the fact. But, you know, when you're this far ahead, you think you have the ability to end it, and somewhere in your head, you have to be wondering, what more do we need? What do we have to be able to do? And, you know, it eats away at you that, you know, we have all the items in the world that we could ever dream of, yet J-Storm was still able to hold us off.
Interesting choice there from Timbersaw. His level 25 talent, he actually gets the attribute reduction over the Timber Chain range. So feeling like that's more necessary this game. Of course, especially as jump in the top lane. Resolution. He is dead one time. Likely a second time, I guess. He gets forced after away. Doesn't have a BKB there or anything. So eventually just going to be ran down by Timbersaw, and he's out for 70. So far, the only kill. Bryle's able to TP out. Chen cut down by the Rolling Death. Lina, that's Spirit Vessel on her. And Ursa goes in to finish the job. So 3-0 there for Complexity. And now they are going to make their way with the creep wave towards the top lane and try to push in as 5. There's no buybacks on the 3 dead heroes, so this should at least be a set of racks.
Top barracks are under
so
attack.
I asked the question what items they were waiting for, and what really seemed to change the fight is they had the reveal of this Basher on the Ursa. as well as I think that was the first time we'd seen the Aghanims, or at least the Aghanims really used, and it just looked like
Dire's
that
top
extra bit of
barracks
damage and the
has
extra bit of lockdown for the side of Complexity allowed them to win that fight, and no buyback here on the Wraith King, no buyback here on the Lina, and I think that might just be Megas.
Yeah, so a little bit of hope given there to J-Storm, but Complexity finally closes the door just about shut. And it's just a matter of time now. It feels like Necrophos, he got in the midst of it. Mind Favor saving him initially, but not nearly enough of a regen. He buys back immediately. Titanar died, though, before he could get a Ravage off, so he is not buying back. Necrophos too far up, Spirit Vessel on him. He's dieback. And Complexity looks like they're going to the grand finals of the North American qualifiers, unless somehow they completely screw up this final push.
A really cool interaction I want to highlight is this Sven, before he dies, oh, he's not even going to die. He went for the Stormhammer Dispels versus the Necrophos.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. It gets rid of the Ghost Shroud. It's a really nice pickup. You don't usually see it, but it's very effective here.
Yeah, there's definitely some matchups where it's like, oh, yeah, that's a really good, and absolutely that. As they lose the maiden resolution, that's the first death. GG's called anyways, and it is official. Complexity, again, moving on to the grand finals. So J-Storm will be bounced down to the lower bracket finals, where, let me try to confirm. Okay, it does look like, yes. So they are going to be playing Beast Ghost. So it'll be a rematch. J-Storm versus Beast Ghost, as we saw earlier today. Of course, J-Storm handling business there in a 2-0 victory earlier on. They got to do it again, though. And then the winner of that series will then play Complexity, where the spot to the minor will be on the line. But we got a 3-game series.